study session for Monday, April 8, 2024 is called to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Coffin.
Here.
Councilmember Bergen. Here. Councilmember Coons. Present. Councilmember Gardner.
Here.
Councilmember Hancock.
Here.
Councilmember Grassley. Here. Councilmember Lowe. Here. Councilmember Medina.
Here.
Councilmember Mario. Present. Councilmember Suffolk.
Here.
And Mayor Pro Tem Johnson.
Here.
If there's no mayor's update, are there any issue updates? Consent calendar item number 2A through 2F. Is there any objection to moving the consent calendar forward? Seeing none, the consent calendar will move forward. Item number 3A, Liz Rogers, Intergovernmental Relations.
Thank you, Mayor. Liz Rogers, Intergovernmental Relations Manager for the city. So the Pfizer Committee met on March 29th, took positions on several bills. For the federal government, we did a support position for Senate Bill 2307, a bill to support and strengthen fighter aircraft capabilities of the Air Force and for other purposes, so related to the F-16 issue on Buckley. And then at the state level, we did support positions on House Bill 1284, pretrial release for repeat violent offenses, and Senate Bill 185, protections mineral interest owners forced pooling. The city did an opposed position on House Bill 1437, prohibit flat fees for defending indigent clients, and House Bill 1379, regulate dredge and fill activities in state waters. There was a no position taken due to a tie between amend and oppose on House Bill 1372, regulating law enforcement use of prone restraint. And just to give an update on that bill, there was a full strike-through amendment, which you have in front of you. Unfortunately, due to timing circumstances, we were not able to get it into the packet in time, but it has been available on the Colorado General website for some time. So happy to answer any questions.
Questions of Liz Rogers? Mayor Pro Tem.
Is it 1437? We took an opposed position as the flat fee for,
That's correct.
is there an update on the status of that bill?
I believe it is going to be heard in committee on the 10th, the 9th or the 10th.
Okay,
I can find out for you.
thanks.
Further questions?
Mayor, so we are opposing the prone restraint? One of us opposed it, one of us did not, so we didn't take a position.
The reason I did it, and I stated my reasoning, was because of the local draw, and I said it would complete strike, which they did, and that's why I did the amendment. That's all I said to oppose.
Yeah.
Further questions, comments?
Mayor,
Councilmember Combs.
so to clarify, this is the amendment that would
Strike
be
blow.
moved for, that we have before us, that you were supporting?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions, comments? Seeing none, thanks, Liz. 3B, Aurora Ridgeview Residential Recovery Campus, Jessica Prosser, House and Community Services Director.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. This agreement is a subrecipient agreement with the state. When we previously put together our stack of projects to fund with ARPA funds, this one was selected. We are now getting around to doing the actual agreement, which we said we would bring those back individually. So this supports the renovation of the campus that the state is working on. Our portion is very small. There's a lot of millions of dollars to renovate this. We're contributing $1 million. Arapahoe County and other cities and counties are also contributing. This is a regional facility for substance abuse rehabilitation, and we'll also have workforce components and medical components to it as well. I know many of you toured that a few years ago, and we've had some regular updates from the state on this project, but it's really the state's project. We're just contributing some of our ARPA funds. Happy to take any questions.
Councilmember Bergen.
So I had them do a presentation to the opioid governance committee. I think it's 42 million or 43 million that is for the renovation, which seems like a lot of money actually for the renovation. So they may not use all that for renovation. but I don't think they can use it for operations because it's ARPA monies, right?
So the ARPA monies could be used for renovation, but in our subrecipient agreement, we're saying it's for renovation, so they'll have to use our funding for renovation.
No, I'm saying if they don't need the 42 or 43 million, can they use it for operations? And probably not.
They can as long as they spend it within the timelines for ARPA.
For operations? Okay.
Yeah, because we've used ARPA money for operations as well for different things.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Okay, so out of the opioid dollars that the city gets, have we reached any, I mean, I've asked 3 times if we could talk about how we're going to, spend that money.
So I've coordinated with finance and others, and we'll be putting together a proposal for that for the 2025 budget. Just laying out, we have a chunk of change now, and then there's different amounts of money that'll be coming in year over year, but it's not consistent amount, so it's really probably best to treat that as one-time monies to put towards things, but we were gonna bring back a proposal about that.
Okay, and the reason I asked specifically that question related to Ridgeview is because the opioid committee is probably going to possibly fund Ridgeview with some of the monies, and I've had other jurisdictions ask, is the city of Aurora going to help us and give their portion of the money to the county so that we can put it together, or are they going to keep their monies separate? And I have yet to get an answer. So it sounds like we're going to keep our monies and not combine it with a joint project.
I think we'll put together a proposal for our own money, and we can look at whether we leverage other fundings with that.
Further questions or comments? Councilmember Sundberg.
So that place that's been sitting there collecting dust is a veritable turnkey trade school, VOTEC type place with auto mechanic, barbering, hospitality, you name it. Are those elements going to be kept?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the state has said they want to have a significant workforce component there, so.
Good.
Yeah. Jessica, I'm just surprised it's taken so long on this. I mean, so it was a 500-bed facility, but there were 2 double bunks without a door. They were going to do a single bed with a door. And I get that they were going to convert some of their classroom spaces, I think, to residential, I assume. But I'm just surprised it's gone so slow. I think I'm trying to remember when we first toured that facility, where the state told us what they were going to do.
Yeah.
No, I think it was
2
more.
years ago,
2021.
probably.
I thought it was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
They are opening, due to open next summer, I believe.
Okay. Further questions or comments? Okay. And this is still along the 4-line model in terms of
Correct.
rehabilitation? Okay, very well.
Yeah, so if we're good, we'll move this to the regular meeting for final approval.
Okay. Is there objection to moving it forward? Very well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Spring supplemental, Jackie Benman, Budget Program Manager.
Right, I'm Jackie from the Budget Office, and I am bringing you the spring supplemental, which covers 2 years with financial adjustments to 2023 and initial adjustments to 2024. I'll give you a high-level overview of each year, and then department representatives and I can answer any specific questions that you have. So for 2023, all significant items in the general fund were either projected and included in the 2024 budget plan or are technical with no impact to the fund balance. In some cases, you may have noticed that the supplemental narratives talked about amounts required that turned out to be more than projected, but I want to let you know that these instances are more than offset by savings in other departments when you evaluate the general fund in total. For all other funds, most items are technical. Others were projected or reviewed by council or council committee. There are a couple of fund results I want to point out. In the development review fund, there was an overage that was projected, and the actual amount did turn out to be higher than expected. But the revenue also turned out to be higher than expected, and we did wind up finishing the year adding to fund balance in that fund. So that's a good news story. In the risk fund, an overage was projected, although the final expenditures for risk claims and the assumption for the actuarial adjustment were more than projected. So this caused the transfer in from the general fund to be more than projected and caused a supplemental in the risk fund to cover additional expenditures. So moving then into 2024, significant items to note in the general fund include ongoing requests to add 11 FTE to various departments. These FTE will add about $800,000 in ongoing appropriation to the general fund, and they were listed, itemized in the commentary. I want to point out that for Housing and Community Services, they are adding 3 FTE, but they are providing ongoing offsets, making all 3 of those adds a $0 impact to the general fund. I also want to note 2 others that are a little different in that the FTE are actually being added to the fleet fund, but because of the charge back to departments, there is an impact to the water and wastewater funds and the general fund. There are 2 other ongoing supplementals to note. One is in the general fund for $939,000 in IT to cover added costs. So first of all, that was due to the fact that in late 2023, IT implemented the new IT Live help desk to personalized services, which was not included in the 24 budget. And then additionally, budgeted annual increases for some contracts. The budget amount wasn't enough to cover the actual increases that they're experiencing in some contracted services. The other ongoing request is in the water fund for $1 million, and that is to continue and expand the rebate and incentive programs to help achieve water demand reductions. There are also several other one-time technical items in various funds to appropriate grant funding, create transfer budgets by using existing appropriation, and to reappropriate funds that were not able to be spent in 2023 due to timing. These items have no impact to fund balances and are, like I said, technical in nature. So at this point, we are wondering and would love to attempt to answer any questions you may have about specific supplemental items.
Questions of staff? Seeing none, thank you very much. Is there any
All right.
objection? Is there any objection to moving 3C forward? Seeing none, 3C will move forward.
Thank you.
We're done. Seeing no further business before the Aurora City Council study session,